that so then the inside you can do business, right? When the Mishnah you're on base. Meaning, could you go into a city where they have the Zara there, have the chog over there? If the way goes, that's specifically to there. There's nobody else who uses the way. The only destination of that pathway is to get to the city. So that's also. But if it's not, that city has there's a highway that goes through the city, continues on to somewhere else. So you're not necessarily going to the city. Then you're allowed to go to that in that pathway. So what's the where will be the case of outside of it? Tluzo is a place called it's a city area next to Aza, which is called a Tluzo, and that's a Rashi learns. It's the shuk next to Aza, so it's not in Aza. Yeah, talk about Gaza. Right after Gaza, Gaza was a place of the police team where they had a Zara. That's right outside of it. Taisus learns a little differently. Taisus learns that Tluzo is the name of a Zara, which was outside of Gaza. So bringing another example where it doesn't reflect the city itself. What's the case if Tluzo Shel Hazo, the area outside of Hazo? Didn't you go to Tzor, the city Tzor in Lebanon? When you saw Yisrael and a Goy, when they were based on they went and they put two pots on one oven. We're not worried about that. So we see over here the same thing. I'm not choishish for a place next to the city. And the Moshe going to explain to me what exactly is the example. Now, based on Rashi, the Moshe is going to bring out three different ways how to understand this example. Not necessarily there's a big difference between the ways, except for the fact how much am I learning from it. So let's see. What we're not choishish regarding the two pots that I want to learn from it. So explanation number one is basar nevela. You have two pots over here. Maybe the goy replaced the basar of the Jew with the basar nevela. So this is a chashash, a real chashash. Maybe the meat that you have in your pot is not the meat that you thought you had in the pot.
Are we assuming they put the pots and then they went away, nobody's watching?
Oh, so today's here asked the question, what about, we know the klolim, we learn Be'ez Hashem Maseches Chulim, that we have a din of Yetzev and Nichnas. Going in and out, why is that's not good enough? That's what today's brings here as a question. So today's brings different answers. One answer is to talk about Yetzev and Nichnas is good when you have servants or someone who's working for you or something like that. When you have two people that are guests at the same hotel, one guest doesn't care about the other guest. He's not mere sisminei, not afraid of him. So we're talking about a case where the guy is not afraid of the Jew. So that's why your chosh maybe replace the meat. So we say we're not chosh for that. Lo yamrinon, right? Why? Lo yamrinon dil me'ad, and it works with lo yamrinon dil me'ad apei Yisrael lachori. Maybe the Jew looked backwards. The shadav kachov nevela b'gdeiro, and then nevela when he replaced the meat. The kavos chanami lechoshu kachov mishun dmei avodah zara. So I want to compare that. I want to say there. What's the chashash? What's the chashash I'm discussing? A chashash of an actual isur nevelo. You have here a meat which is isur. So we're not chosh to that. Same over here. I'm not choshish to the money of the zar, meaning an actual thing of isur. I would think that maybe if you were dealing with a Tluzo Shel Hazo, which is right outside of Gaza, and they're dealing with money, maybe part of the money that they're using is the money of the Avoda Zara. So you're benefiting from the Avodah Zara. That's what you would think. So we say no, we're not choishish. We're not choishish to actual isur. That was the dugma from there. That's explanation number one. Rava Amar, my loy choshem chachavim. Why am I not choishish by the gdeira? Mishum bishulev t'kachavim. Problem is because of bishul akum. Not that he changed the meat. That was not even a havamina. They changed the meat. But maybe you're choishish that the Jew, by putting the pot on the oven, maybe he'll make a mistake and he'll allow the goy to light to start the oven, and he's not going to do anything. The Yisrael is going to be relying on the goy to cook for him. It's his meat. But if you have your own meat and the goy does it for you, it would be shulakum. So maybe the bishulakum over there, maybe that's the issue. Not such a big chashash that we thought about, but maybe that small chashash is the issue. Yom Edom is not the Mei Avodah Zara. Because of Yom Edom, it's like Zara. When it says don't deal with him on the day of the Avodah Zara, because he may go and be moided to his Avodah Zara. He'll go to speak to say thank you to his chagul. It's not an issue mamish. I'm talking about money of Avodah Zara, but it's a more further away chashash. So I want to bring an example. The same of Nar Choshesh for Bishul Akum, which is not such a big chashash. It's like Zera D'Rabbanan, not Yisur D'Oraisa. So I also Nar Choshesh for the Yisur of Yom Edom.
So in a bias case, it's an Yisur D'Oraisa.
Yes.
Even an Yisur D'Oraisa in Nar Choshesh.
Right.
Rava says it's only. Rava's only talking about an Yisur D'Rabbanan.
We're learning from the Yisur D'Rabbanan now.
Does that mean he would say they would be Choshesh for?
No. So it sounds from Rashi that we didn't even start to think about the chashash. Rashi says. If you look at Rashi, look at Rav Omar. Rav Omar, I lechoshu lav b'say nevei lekomar. Tell me, know that kasol lechush b'nei avodah zara. Taloi domi. Tell the similar thing. The osam leisa nov kachom v'nish nevei like there. It doesn't enjoy it. The mistafi lechoz zeisot al bedino. Halachim miskaben kachom lasot tzur chaveiroi. In other words, regarding the nevei I have no chashash. But regarding the b'nei avodah zara, if you do have the chashash b'nei avodah zara, Rav says I'm not going to rely on it. I'm talking about a case where I don't have the chashash of the Avodah Zara. That's right, and that's what. If you look here, continue just to point out what Moshe says. Moshe says, Rashi says, if I know for sure the money of the guy is coming from his backs, so yes, that point is correct. In other words, by basar, I'm not choshesh to the Yisur D'Oraisa. By mois, if you have a place to be choshesh to the D'Oraisa, I will be choshesh. But Rava says, talk about a case, you don't have choshesh to the D'Oraisa, whatever choshesh to the D'Rabbanan, that I'm learning from the Gdeir. Rabbo, Barulo, my third option.
Rashi is saying where you know for sure it's not Yisur D'Oraisa.
Yes.
Meaning, but otherwise it would be choshesh to the Yisur D'Oraisa.
Right, by Rav. In other words, by the meat, I'm not choshesh to the D'Oraisa. By the money, if there would be a problem, so the rice, I don't have it. So
it comes out, it's like they're arguing really.
Yes. They're arguing, yeah. So according to Rava, if I have a chashash to rice, I won't have it. I don't learn from the case of the meat. However, the third shot, which is even more lenient, learning less. What is that? What is tzinoyo? Tzinoyer is that the maybe we have over here the spit of a guy. If you look at Lashon Rashi, just to continue the same concept, Rabbi Ulama towards the end of the narrow. I don't know if the Nekudas is the same source of daf, but towards the end of the narrow lines, Rabbi Ulama b'yoyim edim shebnei hazo l'sharab chani l'aseiz v'lasei b'nei al tuzo. We do not allow you to deal with b'nei al tuzo. In other words, even Yom Edom have a problem. So you don't really take Gdeirus. Don't be an example for the Gdeirus, maybe it's a Bishul Akum. Once the Yisrael stoked the coal, it's not a Bishul Akum. So here you have a Chashash. So we're coming to be more makel, so more learning less of a kula. So that's what, let's say again. Rabbi Ula Omar that maybe loy chashu chachamim mishut tzinoyer. There may be a spit saliva of the guy went into the Gdeir of Yisrael. And Rashi says Yisur Kal. Why it's Yisur Kal? Because it's a chashash rochik, and even if it is, it's batal b'shishim. Kavaso okadami. Yeah, I said spit, not spit. Tzinoyer means a little bit of liquid. A little liquid from the Gdeira, not spit. A little liquid from the Gdeira of the guy went into the Gdeira of the Yisrael. So even if it did, it's batal b'shishim. So it's not a real chashash. So we have here three different shittas in the Gemara. Shittas number one was to say, I'm learning from there that even Yisur D'Oraisa, I can be more lenient. Shittas number two says, no, Yisur D'Oraisa, no. If I have chashash Yisur D'Oraisa, that you have the Zara over here, that's out. But a chashash D'Rabbanan of Yom Edom, that I'm going to be learning that you have a heter. Third explanation is no. Even chashash D'Rabbanan, it's a problem. Talking about here a chashash rachik D'Rabbanan, like some kind of a Far-fetched chashash, that I don't have. So yeah, I don't have the chashash of lifnei Yom Eidim, not the Yom Eidim itself. It's always it's like a gzeir the gzeiro. Yom Eidim is the rabbanon, lifnei is a gzeir of the rabbanon on that. And here we have a chashash. Maybe this guy doesn't even belong there. So that's why I'm not there in this case, but not in Yom Eidim itself. So the more broad, I want to learn a Tluza Azo from the case of Tzor. What exactly we're learning three different ways to learn it. Let's say it. Says the Gemara. Can you go to that city? Says the Gemara. You have the Zara there, you're not allowed to go into it. You're not allowed to go from it, through it, to another city. If the way is going only to there, that's our Mishnah, that the street, the highway, only the end of the highway is that city, and so then you're not allowed to go. The city doesn't end over there, it goes somewhere else, mutter. So that's number one. Someone is going in front of the Zara, and he has a thorn in his foot. What does he want to do? Pull out the thorn. He should not take out the thorn from his foot. It looks like he's taking out from Avoda Zara. He's bowing to Avoda Zara, even though he has no intention to do that. If it's not near mutter, we'll see in the Gemara in a second. What does it mean, Eino near mutter? Now, Pashup Shaz, we'll see in a moment. Meaning, if it doesn't look like he's mishtach al Avoda Zara, it's okay. He has the money. His money is got scattered in front of Avoda Zara. You should not bow down to pick them up. Again, it looks like he's bowed down to Avoda Zara. If it doesn't look that way, mutter. A third case, you have a river flowing next to Avoda Zara. You should not bow down and drink. Again, it looks like he's bowing down to Avoda Zara. If it's not near it, then it's mutter. All three cases are basically the same idea. So more is going to ask us right away, why do you need all three cases? We'll see in a moment. It says more in one more case, a little different. Actually, the krochim in the big cities, they have very nice design. One of the designs they have these faces, like you can see in old cities in Europe. They have water flowing out from a mouth. It looks like a mouth, it looks like a face, a sculpture, and you have water coming out from the mouth. You should not drink directly from that mouth. Because it may be Avoda Zara. It looks like he's kissing Avoda Zara. Another example for this, the person should not put his mouth on a spring of water and drink. So the more to explain more what is the sakana, drinking directly from the spring of water. What does it mean? It doesn't look like he's bowing down to Avoda Zara. Meaning nobody is seeing him, he's alone. Like one says, maybe shot number one, nobody's seeing him. He's around, he looks around, there's nobody there. We have a rule that whatever is asur, because of RSI, you're not allowed to do even even nobody sees you. Toys over here discussed if that's the halach or not. He wants to say maybe la halach l'maisu paskin that we do differentiate between chad chador and not. Like we said, he's going next to the Zara, but it doesn't look like he's bowing down. Just walking next to it. Now, why we know all the cases? By a thorn, maybe he is, he has a thorn stuck to his foot. So walking to the two people with steps to take it out there. You have to do right here in front of the Zara. But money, where's the money? The money is right now on the floor, right in front of the Zara. If I don't pick it up, I'll lose the money. I have to pick it up right now. So that's why I can't walk around. This is money, so it's only money. So that's why don't bow down. There you have pain. And both these kids are sakana. Means not a real sakana, but I mean he's so thirsty, he's about to die. He has to drink. So the shosi mais, maybe not. That's why you need all three cases. Okay, says the one that we base on base. And I don't know if that's the source of that. That's what it changes.
Does it change? I don't think it changes.
No, I'm saying I think they do. They have a little bit difference. That was one. Okay. Okay, we'll talk about it. So what about the face? Is not to drink directly from the face. Hamali. We should kabay lemitni kayotze boy lenich piva pisiloin v'yishte. The partsuf is no chiddush over there. You're not allowed to drink from the face when it looks like it. So it's the same thing like on the other cases. You should not do it. So what I want to tell you not to drink directly from the spring because of sakana. You put out sakana. My sakana, a luka. What's a luka? Leeches. Meaning you have some worms in the water that may go into into the body and harm somebody. Or there's springs over here that they inflate and they eat and they suck out the liquid from a person. If they're in the body, they can just suck it out. So therefore, it's something which if you see the water, so you can see if there's bugs inside. But if you don't see the water, you drink it directly from the source, maybe the leech will come out. See what Torah Rabbanon. Person should not drink directly from the rivers or from the lakes. Not directly from his mouth, and not with one hand when it's hard to see it. In other words, directly to his mouth. If he did it, he has sakana. My sakana, saluko, the same leeches we mentioned before. Someone who drinks the Nima Shamayim means the worm of the water, which is the leech. You can heat out water in Shabbos to kill the worm. If not, he may die. It's a sakana defashos. Now the chiddush over here, as Mishay pointed out, is even though he won't die immediately, we know it takes a few days to die, but he can still save him on Shabbos. There was a person who drank the Nima Shamayim. The allowed to eat water for him in Shabbos. In the meantime, until the heat of the water, what should he do to calm the situation? He should go and drink chalo, which means vinegar, and that will, in the meantime, he's not going to die so fast as Rashi. This we saw, if you remember this, we saw in Gittin. So Ayman Bal Zibur. Zibur means, Rashi brings the Zibur is at Sir'ah, which is what translation of zero be? A wasp. He's not going to live. He's for sure going to die. Give him what?
Hornet.
A hornet, they call it. They should eat a very strong vinegar. We'll give him some time to live, so he can write his last will and testament.
Chime in. Good friend of Prince William got stung by
bee,
and died like this because the bee stung him by and it just got all infected. He suffocated.
Because of
a bee bite, internal bee bite.
Yeah,
so same thing here with the
maybe very good, excellent.
Worth $1 billion. Yeah, $1.5 billion. 53 years old for an internal bee bite. Going polo.
Yeah,
the same like here.
Very good, 100%. It's a good mice. It's a mice. Yeah, you had a like allergic reaction. So yeah.
No, but that's I guess the doctor. No matter if you're allergic or not, you get bitten by a bee inside, you're gonna die.
Really?
That's just the way it is.
Wow. Torah Rabbanon talk to Gemara. Lo yishte odom mayim balaylo. Person should not drink water in the night. If he drinks, don't be rishon. He has sakana because of danger. My sakana shavriri. So shavriri is a type. It's a type of shade, mazik, causing issues. If he's very thirsty, what should he do? He can a bad day. Lisrei should wake him up. Should scream out, I'm very thirsty. So that will cause the shade to leave the water. If not, he should make noise by taking the cover of the pot, put it on the pot. He should say himself, my mother told me you is dar mishavriri, briri, riri, iri, because of chivar. Now, as Rashi points out over here, the what's it called? The lachash over here against the shade is going from big word to smaller word. The opposite of a na nachman woman. So it's the exact opposite. Shavriri, going to Riri, going to Yiri, Ray. It goes down slowly until like you take away the shade. That is the way to get out of the shavir that you have in that time. Say it.